Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Brothers and sisters, today we are going to discuss the possession and types of possession. Normally, the cases which is coming in front of us, the patients say it is a possession or it is a black magic. Okay, who told you? No, so and so and so and so. Raki told me, so and so occult told me, and I went to that Raki and he told me, and many Rakis told me, many people told me, and etc. Now, beware, inexperienced healers and occult may mislead you on devil possession. Be careful about it. Because there are many things. Basically, maybe there is no possession, but there are symptoms of possessions, and patients and their relatives are misguided. And even the healers or the Rakis or the people who make the Ruqya, they are also misleading without knowing the reality. Normally, a lot of possessions is coming to us, which is not a real devilish possession, but at the same, it is a created possession. Created means something, there is no possession, but a possession is created in their mind, or a belief, or a delusion, a acute delusion, or a chronic or acute delusion is created, and they are believing it. So something is wrong to me, and so I am possessed, or something is affected on me. I am possessed, so I cannot move, I cannot work, I cannot live, I cannot be happy. So this is what is created inside their mind. But basically, really, there is no devil possession or a sihr. So this situation is lot. Many people is carrying this one. And we have a lot of experiences with such people. Now, and there is another one, obsessive compulsive. That means patients will have some symptom out of their panic shock or trauma or panic attacks and etc. Which is any emotion which is strongly entered. Any emotion which is heavily entered may react, and body may react, or the mind may rework it, or remanifest it actually. Remanifest the real shock. So seemingly an outside person or the relatives of the patient will be thinking, no, he is manifesting, a shaitan is manifesting, and devil is manifesting, so he is possessed, or he is affected with a black magic. So basically no possession, but the body or the mind is re-experiencing the trauma, the shock. So then in that cases, we can say it is obsessive compulsive. See, I am mentioning all these from parapsychological studies books of parapsychology, and a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists and metaphysicians made a lot of literature and works in this field. This is available in the internet, and you can, if you want, you can read some of them. So self-created possession is there, and obsessive compulsive is there. Then real devil possessions, yes, of course it is there. Maybe real possession is also there, but real possession again goes into two. One is a devil possession. A possession is happened. In another case, a possession is not happened, but the patient is very vulnerable that at any point of time, devils can influence him through his emotions, through his emotional loads. Okay, so devil possession, there can be partial possession or can be full possession. Full possessed cases is very easy to identify. If you talk to them, such people for 5 minutes, you can understand they are fully possessed or not. And it is rare also, fully possessed cases. Because they will be mad and they will be in the mental hospital or in the retention camps. So partial possessions is, patient is possessed, but the possession is not manifesting every time. It is manifesting in different situations or occasions, and depending upon the morality or the mind pattern or attitude of the patients. So this is partial possessions. But the devil's influence in times of negative emotional peaks, when negative emotions, fear and sorrow and grief and guilt and this type of bad feelings, negative feelings and hatred, angriness, rage, and envy. And so this type of negative and bad feelings, when it's working, or when it comes into a peak, then it's easy for the devils to control them, or to influence them. For example, I can tell you in the Quran there is a verse which says Musa Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam hit a man, and the man died all of a sudden with one hit. That means Musa killed him in one hit. Okay, so there Musa alayhi salatu wasalam says dhalika min amal shaitan, and Allah is mentioning in the Quran what the Mufassirin said, the authentic Mufassirin said, Shaitan used Musa's angriness to make that blow very heavily, so that the victim died. So Shaitan used the Musa's angriness. So when the angriness comes to a peak, Shaitan is using it. It is not a possession. In that case, if it is a possession, we have to say that Musa was affected. And even Ayub Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam was telling, Anni massani shaitanu bi nusbin wa adab. Shaitan was possessed me bi nusbin, means nusbin means mental distress, wa adab, distress and the sufferings, distress and sufferings. So distress and sufferings. So in that cases, at that time, Ayub Nabi alayhi salam was possessed with through his emotions. So devils possess us through an emotion, through a bad emotion, through a negative emotion, through a negative and bad emotions. So when we are keeping a bad emotions and negative emotions in our mind, and at the time of working these emotions in a passionate or in a peak level, Shaitan influences. Actually, it is not a devil's possession, but rather it is an influence. And this can be from emotionally developed in oneself. The emotions can be developed in himself, or it is emotional transference from others. When we communicate with the people who is having this type of emotional loads, and especially our mothers and parents and sisters and etc., then when we are living with them for a long time, when we are communicating, their emotions can be transferred to us, and it will work along with our emotions. So emotions can be double. So we will not be in a situation to control our emotions. So uncontrollable emotions, when it is blasting or when it is coming to a peak level, then Shaitan is influencing. So there are a lot of people who is making the Quranic Ruqya, and by recitation, when they see some symptoms in the patients, they say, no, it is a devil possession. No, it is a black magic. So it should be taken care, because we have to be aware of it. Because when a Raki says that, when a man, a spiritual healer, say it is a possession, the patient will believe it, and patient will be carrying it with him that I am possessed, and then there is no cure, because it's a delusion. If it is a reality, yes, we can solve it. But if it's not if it is a delusion, this is hard to remove the delusion from their mind. So we have to be very careful when we approach such people. And especially now in Kerala, in Kerala there is a lot of people, young chaps who are they do not have much qualification or experience in any or they don't have a job, and when they are jobless, they are coming to the field of Ruqya and making the Ruqya. They by heard some verses and start treating the people. They will recite 1 or 2 times, and there will be some symptoms from the patient. They will stamp it, no, you are possessed, you are black, it's a black magic, and then they will go for another treatment. They will not attend these patients. So a lot of cases are coming to us that is self-created and obsessive compulsive also. Obsessive compulsive is out of our panic shock or traumatic, or out of our experiences, out of the situations we live. There can be some psychological feelings which is passionate and which is working on our body. So body may be working, body may be acting because of that emotional load. But for a third person, it will be looking like a possessed person's symptom. So they will name it as a possession. So basically, it is not a possession, it is obsessive compulsive. Then devil possessions are there. It is real possessions are there. Real possessions may be partial or full-time possessions. But the influence of the devils when a negative emotional peaks is working, that is something very we have to be very careful, because if we tell these people that it is a possession or it is a black magic, then they will keep it in their mind and they can be never cured. It will be working throughout their lifetime. And the message what I'm giving with this video is that we have to be very careful that inexperienced healers and occult may be stamping you. Well, if one occult is telling you you have black magic, then it is entered in your mind, and you are going to another black magician. He will be telling through his devils that you are what is inside your belief, because they have the access to our external mind, which is called sadr. Alladhi yusuf fi sudur nas. Mind has different layers and dimensions. Qalb, lub, qalb, fuad, sadr, etc. So sadr is the external outer layer of the qalb, and the shaitan has the access to the sadr. Alladhi yusuf fi sudur nas min al jannati wan nas. So the devils of the shaitan will be reading from their mind, and the occult will be telling. Occult will be telling that you are possessed and you have these problems. So patients will believe, oh, I went to that man, he told me this reason, and the same reason has been mentioned by many occults, so I am really possessed. So it will create a big delusion in your mind, and you can never come back out of that. So this is a summary. So this is the information I'm going to share with this video. Inshallah, in next video we'll mention, many people say that, especially Western societies and the non-religious peoples, they say devil possession or black magic, etc. is a cultural or a religious concept, and it is a medieval concept, and so it is something not absolute, but it's a reality. It's a realistic. I don't know what is that. It's not an absolute. It's a relative concept, which is in some cultures. So we want to explain it. No, it is not. It is not in the culture. It is in everywhere, and it will be manifesting, or you will be seeing the symptoms based upon the culture of the people. So the symptoms which is manifesting before us, the symptoms that will be coming out of the patient will be depending upon the culture and religion of the people. So if somebody don't have a culture and somebody don't have a religion, then in that cases it is coming in a modern culture or in a new version actually. But basically the possession is there. If there is a real possession, it will have its own symptoms. So it is very, and again I'm going to tell you, if somebody is treating the people and stamping them stamping them that you are possessed and black magic without having a possession, and the people are believing it and they are suffering with it, then the healer will be responsible for the consequences in front of Allah. Because in this is one of the usul in the Tib, and Imam Ibn al-Qayyim and Imam Suyuti and Badr Azimabadi, etc. mentioned it in their books, that one of the usul is that inexperience and underqualification or unqualification or inexperience of the healer or the tabib or the doctor, there will be consequence for their inexperience, which is suffered by the people. So in front of Allah, the healer has to be responsible for their blunders or stupidest remark, and they will have to answer to Allah. Okay, inshallah, we'll see in the next video. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.